A lot of people ask me that what are the different tools and skill sets needed to ramp up as a data scientist. There are a lot of videos which talks about what are different skill sets needed to be a data scientist in 2024. In this video, I wanted to not only explain what kind of skill sets you need, but also why you need it. Let's do a simple thought exercise. Let's say there is a person, Mr. X, and that person does not have any existing data science knowledge, but somehow lands a job as a data scientist in some company. So let's see that what his or her day to day would be and what are the skill sets he would have to learn on the way as he works as a data scientist in this company. This person joins the company. Within a few days of joining, he's being asked to work on a renewal forecasting model. So what is the renewal forecasting model? Let's say that company has a subscription based model. They sell their services online, offline, and they want to know that what are the people, the clients who are at a risk of not renewing their licenses so that they could focus more on those clients. So they want to build a basic model. So they reach out to this Mr. X, who is a newly hired data scientist. So what does this person has to do? This person needs some information to get started on this project. First of all, he needs to know what are the different data sources he can use. That information will be provided by the team. He doesn't have to know it beforehand. No. Second is where he would be running the code. So some sort of platform in the cloud or local um, Jupyter notebook or whatever. Again, that will be told by the team. Third would be where he'll be pulling the data from. So connecting to that database. Again, that information will be provided to him by the team. But once he had that basic infra set up, then it is up to him to take the project further. And that's where his existing skill set will come into play. So the first thing he would need to learn or know is SQL. For example, for this particular project, the team tells them that there are three tables, A, B, C. One has demographic details about users, for example, their age, gender, etc. Other has product usage information, like how many times they downloaded, how many times they logged in, whatever. And the third one is licensing information, that when did they buy the contract, when is it ending, if they renewed in the past or not. So they need to have basic SQL information to not only pull that data, but also join it, different tables against a single key, apply some filters, transformations, and get the data in something which looks like this, where they have a customer ID, they have their basic features, and then a label if they're renewed in the past or not. So this kind of basic SQL can be learned by anyone with no prerequisite knowledge in about 2 weeks. And a W3 School has very good documentation around it. It's a bunch of pages. You can play around on the page, try different things. And anyone with no prerequisite knowledge can learn this part in 2 weeks. Okay, so moving on. Once you have the data in this format, then the next step is to do some EDA on it. EDA stands for exploratory data analysis. So this is the basic analysis you do on your data to get to know different trends in the data or any useful insights. For example, you might want to know, okay, so what are some most loyal customers this company has who have been with them for the longest period of time? Who are some of the clients who just churn or not renew on the same day when they buy the licenses, or it could be anything else. So to do this kind of data analysis, two tools are used. One is Pandas, the other one is Matplotlib. So this is something like SQL, but within the Jupyter notebooks, and you can play around in memory. And this is the plotting library. Pandas is very simple if you know SQL. So it is very much dependent on this. But once you know basic SQL, this should take about 2 days. I'll post a link in the video of, it's a 1 to 2 hour session, great session. I think anyone can just follow along that tutorial and you'll know the basics of Pandas. And same goes for Matplotlib. Shouldn't take more than 2 days. The basic plots, you don't have to be like super expert into Matplotlib. Some basic commands you should know. You should know how to do bar plots, scatter plot, um, histograms, and correlation analysis. If you could do these four, I think you're in a decent shape. Again, 2 days. So there you have pulled the data, you transformed it into this shape, you have explored it, uh, got some patterns out of it. And the third component is the actual machine learning component. So here you'll be using scikit-learn. It's a wonderful library, about a decade old or more, has tons of machine learning models and other features into it. Very easy to use. And I think anyone can learn it within 2 weeks. Shouldn't take more than that to get a basic grasp of it. So what you need scikit-learn for? So you have to explore the data. Now you have to train, test, split it. You have to train the model. You have to evaluate the model performance, and then you have to do some basic feature importances. So for these 4 things, you would need some skill set. Mainly scikit-learn should be enough. And once you have that, then you just export the model performance, the feature importances, some useful insights out of EDA, put into a nice PowerPoint and present it to your team. And that's like a life cycle of a typical project which you use. So in terms of skill set, what do you need? You need SQL, you need pandas, matplotlib, scikit-learn. 2 weeks here, 2 weeks here, let's say 1 week here. So in about 5 to 6 weeks, if you practice for 3 to 4 hours a day, I think you could be in a shape where you can have a basic model ready, and that's why you need all these components. Now, the journey doesn't end here. Of course, this is just to get your feet wet. Then later on, what you would want to do is you want to go deep into this ML component, and that's where you would need to learn math. Um, you need to learn linear algebra, a lot of statistics, and that's like uh, the next phases of the journey. But initially, just these things should be good. Thank you so much.